Good day. I'm Marie Nicole Constantino from ED-31B, and I'm going to talk about the do's and don'ts of campus journalism and also the review of the journalism creed. Let's get on to the video. First one on the list, all periods and commas should go inside all quotation marks. Let's say, for example, the sentence says, "Let's go out," he said. Notice that the comma is inside the quotation mark. The second example, the movie title Star Wars. Notice that the period is inside the movie title Star Wars. Number 2, numbers 1 to 9, 10, 11, and so on. The exceptions are use figures in headlines. When number starts a sentence, spell them out. Ages are always numerical. For example, she was 5 years old. Another example, the 5-year-old child. Number 3, oppositional phrases or phrases that explain. Take 2 commas. The example sentence, Dr. Taylor Swift, the college president, spoke at convocation. Notice that there is a comma before and after the college president. Number 4, no comma before the words and, but, or in a series. The example sentence are, the flag is red, white, and blue. Another example, Tom, Rick, and Harry. Notice that there is no comma after the words white and Rick. Number 5, titles before names are capitalized. Example, President Obama. Job descriptions before names are lowercased. Example, before 2000, Coach Coffer was assistant coach. Title after names are lowercased. For example, Barack Obama, President of the United States. Number 6, hyphenated compound modifiers. The examples are 30-day trial, 10-round fight, mouth-watering cookie. Number 7, put attribution early in a quote. For example, Surex said, certainly no later than the end of the first sentence. Number 8, punctuate quotes correctly. Example, first sentence of quote goes here. Susie Smith, senior communications major, said. The second sentence goes here. Every quote starts a new paragraph. Number 9, use the word said in attribution, not more fancy words like stated. Number 10, don't mix up words flashed in screen. 11, spell out the word percent, not the symbol percent, except in headlines. 12, spell out the days of the week and use a comma. The example sentence is, Friday, September 13 was a very unlucky day. Abbreviate August through February when used with date. The example sentence is, Saturday, February 5, but Saturdays in February. Number 14, AM and PM are lowercase and need periods. 15, in writing time, 1 p.m. not 1 p.m. Noon, not 12 p.m. Midnight, not 12 a.m. Number 16, effect is usually a noun. Affect is usually a verb. Number 17, backwards right don't. The example is, it's Surek said, not said Surek. Number 18, composition titles like books, movies, songs, etc. go in quote marks. Newspapers and magazines don't. Number 19, you should be mindful of the spelling. Example, Brookman Chapel, Yaderola, Widener. Number 20. Don't editorialize. Avoid the words I, me, my, us, our, we. Number 21. Don't separate two complete sentences. Use a period instead. This mistake is called a comma splice. Now let's proceed to the second part of the video, which is the review of the journalism creed. It is written by Walter Williams in 1914, after asking his students to write their own. It serves as a code of ethics in practicing journalism. Walter Williams was born on July 2, 1864. He is an American journalist and an educator. He is also the founder of the Missouri School of Journalism. It is the first journalism school founded in 1908. He died on July 29, 1935. And now, let's proceed to the video about journalism creed.
That line has been quoted millions and millions of times all around this world. Walter Williams wrote this, not exactly sure, early in his career, and it has been reprinted, translated in dozens and dozens of foreign languages. When I was a student here in 1937, I had to memorize this, word by word, comma by comma, semicolon by semicolon, and we had to keep writing it until we got it perfect. It is probably more important than it was when Williams himself wrote it.
Well, as a teacher, he was excellent. He knew everything about the whole world as far as that goes. He traveled a lot.
I believe in the profession of journalism. I believe that the public journal is a public trust, and that all connected with it are, to the full measure of their responsibility, trustees for the public.
I believe that a journalist should write only what he holds in his heart to be true.
That acceptance of a lesser service than the public service is betrayal of this trust.
I believe that clear thinking and clear statement, accuracy and fairness are fundamental to good journalism.
I believe that suppression of the news for any consideration other than the welfare of society is indefensible.
I believe that no one should write as a journalist what he would not say as a gentleman.
That bribery by one's own pocketbook is as much to be avoided as bribery by the pocketbook of another.
That individual responsibility may not be escaped by pleading another's instructions or another's dividends.
I believe that advertising, news, and editorial columns should alike serve the best interests of readers.
That a single standard of helpful truth and cleanness should prevail for all.
That the supreme test of good journalism is the measure of its public service.
I believe that the journalism which succeeds best and best deserves success, fears God and honors man.
Is stoutly independent, unmoved by pride of opinion or greed of power, constructive, tolerant but never careless,
self-controlled, patient, always respectful of its readers but always unafraid.
Is quickly indignant at injustice, is unswayed by the appeal of privilege or the clamor of the mob,
seeks to give every man a chance, and as far as law and honest wage and recognition of human brotherhood can make it so, an equal chance.
Is profoundly patriotic while sincerely promoting international goodwill and cementing world comradeship.
Is a journalism of humanity of and for today's world.
He says some of it sounds a little stilted and a little more formal than we would probably express the sentiments today, but it's the underlying principles are certainly principles that I believe are the the history and tradition of journalism and its keys for success in the future.
Well, I think it means the same today as it did when it was written. Yes.
It's a tall order, but I think people get into journalism because they have ideals about making the world a better place. And if you don't have that ideal, I don't think you have the fire in the belly to really be in the business.
Suppression of the news is indefensible. That is happening so much today. We're losing so many of our privileges, freedoms that we take for granted by pure apathy. So that really struck me too.
I'm so concerned about the public's perception of journalism and of the news industry. I think there's a lot of distrust of the media. I think Walter Williams just had it right on that you must be accurate, you must be fair to both sides of a news story.
Your newspaper has to be trusted. If your readers don't trust you, you might as well close down your doors, stop your press. I mean, why would anybody want to read something that they can't trust? On the other hand, you've got to earn that trust by being fair.
I believe that advertising, news, and editorial columns should alike serve the best interest of readers. I think especially in the news segment in society today, I don't think we serve the best interest of readers. And I'm talking not so much about community journalism, but I think on a national scale.
And I think all of us that have been in the profession have oftentimes been challenged by the almighty dollar. In other words, do I run this with knowing that it may cost me an advertising account?
Lost some friends over it, because I've had people call and say, oh, please don't put this in the paper and don't do this and don't do that. And I've said, I can't do that. It's not that I want to do it. It doesn't make me happy, but it makes me unhappy because if you care about people, that's what he says about here about fearing God and honoring man. If you care about people, you care when they're hurt, but you can't ignore it.
I believe the suppression of the news for any consideration other than the welfare of society is indefensible. And this is exactly what we talk about constantly today. It's suppression. I mean, you could use it. You could use that as a pointing out the need for shield law to be able to protect your sources.
Oh, I think he'd be appalled. As Yogi Berra once said, if he were alive today, he'd be turning over in his grave. No, and the things that have made, I really believe that what has changed it has been what changes so much else in American life, and that is too much money. Money's okay. I love money. Too much money corrupts. And the influence of money in our journalism has, for one thing, it has created a kind of careerism that has replaced the craft, the apprenticeship and the mastery of doing honest work. We are celebrities now.
If everyone lived by this today in our profession, we would probably be a much more respected profession.
We must remember that the media plays a vital role in a democratic society. Journalism is for the voice of a voiceless, expressing opinions of all those in our society. It's like a bridge between the authorities and people. Therefore, its primary purpose is to make sure all citizens are aware of their rights. And that's the end of my report.